boy, it seems Sam Wilson is putting together a team, and I want to play too. So I'm putting together my list of the top 10 draft picks I would have for Avengers Doomsday. And let me say, I don't envy Kevin Feige. It's slim pickings out there in the MCU right now, but I like the team I've put together. All right, so yes, 10. You might be like, that seems like a lot, Grace. Well, while the Avengers started out with 6 members, they quickly jumped to 11 by the end of Age of Ultron, 12 in Infinity War, and a whopping 16 for Endgame. So I feel pretty good about my 10. Now, I guess Kevin Feige could possibly introduce a brand new character for Avengers Doomsday to join the team, but since he's already reintroducing Robert Downey Jr. and has a ridiculously deep bench with a lot of butts sitting on it, I'm only going to pull from existing MCU characters. And of course, as always, I'm not only excited to hear your thoughts about my list, but your own lists down below. Oh yes, now you might be like, is Wanda on this list, Grace? Well, she's not, and here's why. While she is rumored for Avengers Doomsday, I think the rumor is that at least if they follow the comics, she's going to be working with Doom, at least out of the gate, so she wouldn't be on the Avengers. And then also, Benny C. at first said he wasn't in this movie, but then was like, oh yeah, I am. But if he forgot, his role can't be that big. Besides, I've picked somebody else for the team instead of him. Oh, I'm excited about it. Again, it's my list. All right, so I'm going to start at number 1, actually, because I'm going to start like in the hierarchy of the list. So I want to start with who would lead the Avengers, okay? So I see co-leads. So numbers 1 and 2 are Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I think they will lead the team together. Now, as established in Brave New World, President Ross, on behalf of the United States government, has asked Sam Wilson to put together a new team of Avengers. And Bucky, well, he's going to clearly get elected to the U.S. government as a member of Congress, but he's still good in the field, as we're seeing in Thunderbolts. Plus, there are rumors that Chris Evans might return. He denies it, Andrew Garfield style. But if he does return, his best boy's got to be there to witness it, right? Even if he's a variant of Steve, especially if he's a variant of Steve, they're going to be like, who's this? Oh, it's our buddy Steve, but it's not. If Doomsday is going to be about variants of the OG Avengers, then reactions are going to be important. So that's something we have to factor in who we're bringing back. Who's going to stand there and go, oh my God, right? All right, I think they're going to be very happy at first, then disturbed, and then maybe a little bit scared and upset. If fingers crossed. All right, so as long as they're not bored. All right, so also, as we saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, these two are a great duo. They're brothers. One's an optimist and one's a pessimist. But and I don't know if they can support their own movie, but I think they can lead the team quite well. They both not only believe in the Avengers, but they believe in what the team can do, just like Steve. But I do think the Avengers, it looks like they're going to be affiliated with the U.S. government. I'm not saying it's not going to be a contentious relationship, but it looks like it might be, again, answerable to the U.S. government. Who's paying for this? Who's paying for it? All right, number 3, Spider-Man. Fans love Spider-Man. They love him so much. As I just said, Avengers Doomsday is going to be about reactions. And who's going to have the biggest reaction to Doom having Tony Stark's voice and then probably his face? I mean, we'll see how long let's start taking bets as for how long Robert Downey Jr. keeps his mask on. I don't think he's going to last the whole movie. But, if he even lasts half the movie or even just the ad campaign and they save his face reveal for the movie, I would be impressed. But yeah, Tony Stark and Peter Parker over in 616 have been through a lot. So we got to get the reaction when we see, he just like when they shared the snap, they have so many moments for their scrapbook. Just like they shared the snap together, they're going to have to share. Remember when you were Doom? Yeah, that was crazy, man. And as I said, fans just love Spider-Man. They love him so freaking much. People just go insane for Spider-Man. No matter who plays him, interestingly enough. But they really like Tom Holland. Now, speaking of Tom Holland, isn't he currently filming a little movie called The Odyssey for Christopher Nolan? How's he going to film also Avengers Doomsday, which is about to go into production or might already be in production when you're watching this video? Well, They're both filming in Europe, so Europe's pretty small. You can get around it pretty quickly. So maybe they'll work it out. I mean, we got to have Tommy Holland in here. I think it would be crazy if he wasn't in here. But here's the thing. Is Tom Holland going to have 3 movies in summer 2026? 2 of them where he's Spider-Man? Spider-Man 2's got to move. It's got to move, at least to the holiday season. I mean, this is nuts. But how could you have Avengers Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. as Doom and Spider-Man isn't anywhere to be found? That would be ridiculous. And especially since Feige needs fan favorites in here. And he doesn't have a lot these days. So, I mean, Tom Holland has to be in this movie. But if we want fan favorites, that means we also need number 4, Thor. Oh, Chris Hemsworth has been spotted in the UK as Avengers Doomsday heads into production. Oh, exciting. And while we all had problems with Thor Love and Thunder, even Chris Hemsworth had problems with it. Well, obviously not while he was making it. He was chuckling along with everybody else while they did improv for hours on end, and then they tried to cobble together a movie and failed. But he's like, yeah, that did not work out. And he's like, going forward, we're going to be moving in a different direction. But Thor's too good a character not to be involved here. You can't get rid of Thor. And again, he was an original Avenger. You got to get his reaction to all the variants that we might or might not have. I mean, at least we know we're going to have Robert Downey Jr. Plus, Thor is a god. He's incredibly powerful. And since Sam will not take that serum, we need our heavy hitters. Then, even with a bad movie or 2 in his background, we can't stay mad at Chris Hemsworth. I mean, he's a delight in the role now that he's finally figured out how to play it. He's fantastic. And there's a good chance, speaking of being an original Avenger, that he'll be the only original Avenger on this new team. That's a big deal, because think about it. We'll see how many variants there are if there's more than just Robert Downey Jr., but wouldn't it be interesting to have a couple of new variants on one side and then the OG Thor from 616 by himself on the other? I mean, that's going to be particularly poignant. I'd love to see it. All right, so now that we have those 4 locked down, we can start to think a little outside the box. That's our foundation. Now let's have some fun. Number 5, She-Hulk. I'm doing it. But you know what? It's either She-Hulk or Captain Marvel. Yeah, suddenly She-Hulk looks pretty good. As I said, I do not envy Kevin Feige having to make these decisions. Even with the people he does leave off the team, there will be, chatter. The fans will have opinions, as is always the case. That's fine as long as we keep it civil. And Tatiana Maslany is great casting, and this is great character design. And we just have to have showrunner Jessica Gao nowhere near this thing, and then I think we'll be fine. I mean, let's mix it up a bit. We want another male Hulk yet again. I mean, and also Mark Ruffalo, he's played the Hulk so many times at this point because he can't have his own movie. So they've been sprinkling him across the whole MCU. And it's been a lot of sprinkles at this point. I don't know how much gas he has left in the tank. He's done a lot of variations on the character at this point. But it never hurts to have a Hulk. And we need some ladies on this team. So let's go with Jennifer. Plus, in-house counsel for the Avengers. You can't beat that, although Jennifer is a bit of a stick in the mud, at least as portrayed by the MCU so far. Let's change that. So I don't know if she would agree to being Avengers in-house counsel. I mean, although she should get a separate salary, I'd be like, I don't know. Let's see what the budget is for the Avengers. But I think she should want to do it. She should be excited about doing it. And by the way, Sam is so by the books, right, that I think he would love to have a lawyer around, not only to consult himself, but to help him make his case to others, especially, again, if they're working for the government. If he's like, I don't want to do it, Jennifer can be like, here's why he doesn't have to. I love it. Or she can be like, this is why you do have to do it. I think it's great. I love this idea a lot. Plus, let's not forget that this is the sexy, fun, and flirty She-Hulk of the comics. And she again, likes to have fun. And while she and Daredevil seem to definitely be on a break, he's having fun over in his Disney Plus series. She could have a little fun too with this new Avengers team. A little flirtation, perhaps. I don't know how many actual relationships She-Hulk has. Thor, or maybe number 6, Star-Lord. His last girlfriend was green. I'm just saying. So yes, Kevin Feige has told us that Star-Lord will return because he's not in Guardians of the Galaxy anymore. So what does that leave? I mean, we're all thinking the same thing. Avengers. Look, are we all still upset with him for the last time he was in the Avengers during Infinity War? Of course we are. But I think James Gunn did a really nice job redeeming Star-Lord with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where he had great leadership skills, sweet moves, even though he only has, blasters and a helmet? But he's supposed to be part celestial. Oh, yeah, that's right. They don't really do a lot with that. I guess that's why he's not dead. But he has 2 other skills, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But also some real stand-up moments. He's a swell guy, despite what he did in Infinity War. That's because he cared too much. All right, but also a Disney Marvel Avengers movie is going to Disney Marvel, which means it's going to have jokes. And that used to be Paul Rudd's job. And Paul Rudd was very good at it. But we've had a lot of Paul Rudd, not just in the Avengers, but in all of his Ant-Man movies. And a lot of those Ant-Man movies weren't very good, which is not Paul Rudd's fault, but yet still he's the face of them. I say, let Paul Rudd take a break. Let's bring someone else in for the laughs, and that person should be Chris Pratt. Also, audiences love Chris Pratt. His movies make bank. Like, really, they do very, very well. The internet has tried to cancel him several times. They just can't do it. I mean, especially moderate and conservative audiences love this guy. He brings that traditional leading man swagger to the team, which, I think like Chris Evans used to bring that to a degree. But so I feel like Chris Pratt kind of will step in that regard. And he already knows Thor, right? It'll be fun. Although there is a slight chance that he and Thor could cancel each other out. I kind of got that feeling when I was watching them in the beginning of Thor Love and Thunder. But since Thor Love and Thunder messed up a lot of stuff, it's fair to say they messed up the Thor and Star-Lord dynamic. They were just in a commercial together, but it was a commercial where they were all named Chris. But I still am going for it. Because you really need, I think, to have both of them. Also, while Sam and Bucky are leading this team, and this to me is the most important reason to have Star-Lord on the team, they're both pretty straightforward guys, right? This team could use another member who has also leadership skills, so who will speak up, but is a maverick, who thinks outside the box, who has ideas so crazy they just might work. And that's what Star-Lord would bring to this team. I love it! I love this. Number 7, Shuri. Now, Wakanda needs to represent, and T'Challa Jr. just isn't going to be ready in time for this movie. Now, they could always maybe go with a variant, but introducing a replacement for Chadwick Boseman at the same time that they're reintroducing Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, that's going to undercut that significantly. So I just don't see it happening for Doomsday. I don't really actually see it ever happening anytime with a variant taking over the Black Panther role. I still think my guess is that they'll find a way to age up T'Challa Jr., just like the way they did Wanda's kids. I mean, not the exact same way, but it's comic books. They'll find a way. Now, Black Panther 2 made a lot of money at the box office. Not as much as the first Black Panther, but a significant amount of money. So people want to see Letitia Wright in the role, and she looks damn good in the suit. And she's got to get one turn on the Avengers. I mean, I like her in the role. And she's Black Panther and Tony Stark together. They need somebody who's good with science, and here she is. She's also rich like Tony, right? She's a Wakandan princess, even though she's, of course, given up the throne. And maybe Wakanda could fund the Avengers? I mean, I don't know if they would do that since they're an isolationist state, and they probably don't want to have anything to do with a global task force, but maybe she could just take a little bit of money and fund some of their stuff so they're not entirely dependent on the U.S. government. We'll see. I mean, she will bring, I think, a global perspective, right? I mean, aren't most of the people on this team Americans, right? I think that would be great. By the way, don't forget, she has a relationship with Bucky. She helped him to break his Hydra brainwashing, right? He was living in Wakanda for a while. I mean, we never really saw it. But remember that? I mean, it was obviously, shown briefly. And she built him that arm. I wonder how she feels about it being put in the dishwasher. Number 8, Wiccan. Hear me out. Now, some of you might be like, isn't he supposed to be on the Young Avengers? I want better for my boy Wiccan. He's just such a cool character, and the Young Avengers, they haven't even been formed. They already have problems. A lot of people have not connected with many members of that team, from the casting to how they've been portrayed so far. Wiccan, though, leapt off the comic books page, totally comics accurate in Agatha All Along. It was a thing of beauty. So, and also, it's not like he acts like a kid. He's already gotten to the adults table in Agatha All Along on the Witch's Road. Let's not put him back at the kids' table. That seems so unfair. By the way, speaking of Agatha, does this also mean some Agatha ghost scenes? Bonus! But look, if Wanda is going to be in the mix, and at least one of her sons is back in the MCU and already very powerful, how can he not be there when she returns? I mean, it seems ridiculous to me, although it wouldn't be the first time a movie franchise did something stupid and ridiculous. And the Avengers need a sorcerer if they're going up against Doom. Now, they already have Doctor Strange, but he went up against Wanda and he lost. She forfeited. She sacrificed herself. He did not win that. I mean, I guess they kind of left it open-ended. I guess like he showed her the error of her ways. But I'm sorry. I really like Wiccan. I'd like to focus on his character. And I mean, I like Doctor Strange too, but I would like it to be Wiccan. So, and by the way, in at least one multiverse, he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme himself. Wiccan has a lot of fans. He's perfectly realized. And as I said, he's very powerful and only getting more powerful. I'd love to see that. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually he's more powerful than Doctor Strange. Let's get started on this. I really feel he should be on the Avengers. Right? He's like, you guys having a Wanda party and I'm a Wanda reveal party and I'm not there? What? Did you just steal my Children's Crusade storyline for your movie? That actually kind of is Avengers Doomsday like Children's Crusade, but for like it's the adult crusade? Oh my God. What the? Wiccan better be frickin' on the team. All right, number 9, Yelena Belova. You can see, I don't know if they need 10 members, but it's a top 10 lists. They have a special, people, nobody makes a top 8 list. But so I have 2 more. Yelena Belova. Do the Avengers need another Black Widow? Would Yelena even want to be on the team? We'll see how she likes being a hero in Thunderbolts, but it's pretty clear she does not like being a villain. I think it does mean something to have a Black Widow always on the team to honor Scarlett Johansson, who started out as the only female member on the team. And she, people made jokes, but she was popular, especially with female fans. She was vital to the building of this team in the MCU. Yelena Belova, by the way, has also proven to be quite popular. And Florence Pugh is also very funny and in a different way than Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth. So I think she'd be great. Also, what if Feige, speaking of bringing back variants, Robert Downey Jr. for sure, maybe Chris Evans, maybe Scarlett Johansson, who's going to react the most to Natasha's return? It would be Yelena. And even if Natasha doesn't come back, and then therefore Yelena is free of emotional connection to what's going on here, that's perfect. Because Yelena, even maybe with Natasha, Yelena is the character, and so far the only character here who will make the tough calls and follow through with them. She would be really, that's great. I actually like that. That's what Yelena's here for, to pull the trigger. I love it. Okay, maybe we do need all these members. Then finally, I almost had Shang-Chi here. You might be like, where's Shang-Chi? Well, then the movie couldn't release in China. And that's Spider-Man No Way Home was able to make almost $2 billion without China. But it's a big risk. So sorry, Simu Liu. Also, we have 6 guys already out of 10, so I wanted one more woman. And I went with Nebula. It's like a total fan cast. I mean, I just brought her back. I have some reasons that I came up with, but I brought Nebula back because I enjoyed her so much in Endgame. I thought she was just so fantastic there. Now, she was there, of course, because of her connection to Thanos, but with the time travel, they used her character brilliantly. Remember, it was a version from in the past who had not yet turned the corner and become a good guy. So there was villain Nebula and a hero Nebula, and you couldn't tell them apart because, villain Nebula, altered her appearance. It was great stuff. And Karen Gillan did an amazing job. But I just liked having her around. I thought she was fantastic. And I was like, she was a great member of the team. Also, she spent time with Tony. They were both abandoned in space together, right? So she has a connection as well. It would be fun to see her interact with She-Hulk, Shuri, and Yelena. She and Shuri both know science, and Shuri would love to meet a cyborg. That could be some great jokes right there. She and Yelena have the same dour attitude, right? The doom and gloom, but still kind of funny. I think they'd be so great together. And She-Hulk could help all 3 of them have more fun. I just think it's great. Wouldn't it be great to see the Avengers go from a team that has just one female member to a group of female members who have real camaraderie? Now, we can't do it sleepover style like the Marvels did, because while that was cute, a lot of people did not care for it. And it's not really movie level what we're looking for here. So I would want to see the kind of complex relationships and rivalries, maybe some rivalries here, that we see with the male characters of the team. I just think it could be really great. All right, so those are my draft picks for the Avengers Doomsday team. What do you think? Who would you put on the team? And who do you think Kevin Feige is likely to put on the team? And do you have any like just blatant fan picks that you're like, it makes no sense for them to be on the team, but I just want them there? Don't make your whole list that though. I mean, you can have fun with it. All right. Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.